Hello, everyone. Welcome to day 82 of our fourth session of this year, which is called The Joy of the Spirit. My name is Adrija, and I will be your MC for today. I'm currently looking to start my graduate studies starting next year in Maryland, and I've been practicing Sahaja Yoga meditation for a number of years now. It's just a beautiful journey that never really stops giving, and I'm just very excited to share this experience with you all today. So just a quick reminder to get your foot soak tubs ready if you haven't already. And just some reminders that if you are new or if you've been with us for a while, you can always review our course material and all the recordings on the website. And please join the workshops in the breakout rooms starting halfway through in today's program. Also, regarding mentoring, you can always request a mentor or even an additional one if you already have one. And to do that, you can always just fill out the form that is going to be posted in the chat in the Zoom, or you can also ask more questions about it at the end of the session today. So on Tuesday, we talked about how meditation changes our journey forward. And continuing on that, today we will be talking about the creative process. So the agenda for today starts with a short talk about the topic for today. Then we will have a guided meditation and foot soak. Then we will have a short video clip of Shri Mataji Nirmala Devi, who's the founder. Then we will have a music and meditation session, including some poetry. And finally, we will end with a presenter sharing and question and answers at the end of the session. So, without further ado, I will be introducing the remaining of the presenters and musicians today. So, we will have them on screen.
Hello.
So do you guys, maybe I'll just call the name. Maybe we can start with you, Sia. Can you introduce yourself?
Hello, everyone. Overjoyed to have this program tonight. It's going to be a little bit different. My name is Sia. I've been here for a couple of times. I come originally from Austria and we live in Texas. And I'm joined today by my daughter, Priya.
Hi, I'm Priya. I'm 22 years old and I've been practicing Sahaja Yoga for my whole life, basically. And this is my first time being a part of this program and I'm very excited. I'll be doing some of the poetry and yeah, hopefully I'll join the future ones as well. But yeah, very excited to be here.
And yes, you, Saraswati?
Yeah, so my name is Sylvia Saraswati, not that you get confused. Originally also from Austria, now living in the Chicago area. And I've been meditating for the last 25 years. And creativity is very close to my heart as I play the flute, sometimes also for you on the 21 days. So I'm excited about, discussing about creativity at the end of the program.
Great. Thank you for being here today. And thank you to the rest of you for also joining us. So we are going to get started with the foot soak session, and I will pass it over to you, Sia.
All right. All right. So I don't know how you're feeling, but my week was very, very stressful and very busy. And right now, sometimes before a program, I feel ready. Today, I feel still a little, So here comes the ice pack. If you need it too, go grab it now. Have your foot soak bowl ready, and we're going to start together to just come into the zone and to get quiet and peaceful. It can happen sometimes if we're very overactive that we get sleepy. And that's not necessarily a left side phenomenon. It can be because we have been too right-sided and too active, and then we fall asleep, especially when we come to the music and poetry session. So try to stay awake, please, and be aware that you want to cool down your right side and you want to do all the exercises with us. And then you can really have maybe a very nice experience in that part. Creativity is not only limited to music, but it is a wonderful, wonderful way of balancing, especially after a busy day. Why? Because it goes beyond the thoughts. It doesn't come from the thoughts. It bypasses the thoughts. If I play music, there's different parts of my brain involved, and they do not have any verbal work going on in my head. And like that, I am able to just relax and just find myself in a different sort of mode. If I'm painting a picture, if I'm cooking, there's so many different ways, which we're going to talk about later, to be creative. Now, creativity is, we say it's in the right Swadhisthana, the right at the bottom of our belly where the lower torso meets the leg. There is the Swadhisthana, the second energy center. And on the right-hand side, as we know, right-hand side is the action, is the active channel, is the creativity. However, creativity is linked to all our chakras, isn't it? It helps to be creative if we have a clear Muladhara chakra, if we're feeling very innocent and very pure, and our artwork or our music will shine this quality through it. If we have a settled Nabi, that's the third energy center, that's also in the void area, for example, is our guruship. This is where we're learning. Are we able to have some discipline? It requires quite some discipline to learn some art. And I noticed if we want to expand and explore into improvisation and creativity, it really helps to have some basics. We need to know our basics. We need to know our brushes apart, our colors apart, our notes. So there's a good amount of basics needed. And on that, then we can play with that. Then on that, we can build with our own inspiration, right? The heart, how can we make art without the heart? We need our heart open so we can share. And obviously the Vishuddhi chakra, very important in things like singing, where we have, or in speaking, creative speaking, writings, poetry. We need our Vishuddhi to work. Let's have a clear Vishuddhi. So the voice is clear, the message is clear, the message is sweet. If I'm writing a poem, I better be in a balanced state so that I can deliver that poem. And obviously our head, the less we think and the more we wait for inspiration, the less our ego is pushing, our super ego is pushing, we can be so lovely created. And last but not least, let's be connected. Let's enjoy the fact that we have our self-realization and let this inspiration just pour into our being. Today's program will be a mix of music and poetry. So we're mixing these two as well as images, photographs taken by Sahaja Yogis. And I would like to just talk about that very, very briefly before we start our foot soak. Now, the music you have heard in a lot of programs, I don't think needs a lot of explaining. The poetry we picked for today is very special because as much as we know that there are realized souls, there are people out there who had their realization and they created poetry like William Blake and many, many others, we decided to pick the work of Sahaja Yogis. So I'm very overjoyed to except one. The first one, and that's in honor of this country, is actually by Joy Harjo, and that's a Native American poet. And that's really nice to just honor the land where we are and just to listen to Native American poetry. The next poem is written by Ian Bremner, who is a very, very sweet Scottish Sahaja Yogi. He's been meditating for many years, and he keeps sending me this amazing poetry that just pours out of him like that. So I'm really overjoyed to share this one called The Beginning. The third one, The Soldier of Love, will be by Walter Lerchner, who is a fellow Austrian living here in America. And what I find interesting with him is that he is actually a scientist, a genetic scientist, if I say it correctly. So somebody who uses his brain so much and his right side so much. And the poetry is just what gives him this amazing balance and where he can just feel these vibrations to which I get to in a second. And the last poem is by Shri Mataji Nirmala Devi herself. She wrote a couple. We have this very precious poem called I See a Mountain. Vibrations. This is the point of doing this. We know about vibrations, how we can feel them on our hands. We know how they can flow on our hands. But it is very, very important to understand that vibrations are around us, and certain things in our environment, or not just things or items, things I choose to pick, have vibrations or don't have vibrations. For example, paintings. If a painting is on the wall and it has beautiful vibrations, it will have an effect on the room, it will have an effect on the people. Or the music I pick to work, maybe if I'm studying, the music I choose will have an effect on how I feel, right? The music, but even just the setup and the layout of a room. And we'll talk about this more in detail later. How can I pick an environment that has vibrations? What sort of things, what sort of choices have vibrations and can make our meditation better as well? Enough said. Let us start our foot soak. So we raise our Kundalini together. For those who are new, we shall be covering this later, or you can ask in the breakout room. And we give 7 arches of Bandhan, a protection. With our right hand, let's raise our Kundalini just a few times and bring our attention on top of our head. Let's touch our head on top. Press and bring our attention all the way on top of our head. We can slowly raise our hand. Feel the cool breeze, the vibrations. And with our attention on top of our head, and we're going to leave it there all the while, let's give some vibrations to the water. We place the salt first and then give some vibrations to our foot soak bowl, to the water. And we can put our feet inside. Let's keep our eyes open. If you find that this doesn't work because you think too much, you can keep your eyes closed, but otherwise try to keep them open. Let's drop both the hands towards Mother Earth. Mother Earth, please remove any tensions, any blockages, any impurities that trouble me. Let me feel your love and let me feel this connection to you all the time. Mother Earth, please nourish me with the creativity of nature. And understand that all these particles around me are all connected. Like that, nothing is original. It's always been and it always will be. Can take a couple of deep breaths. We leave the right hand towards the ground and bring our left hand back on our lap. Mother Kundalini, please cleanse my left side. Purify my emotions and make them shine and enlightened. Please remove any unwanted emotions that trouble me and help me develop those emotions that are pleasing to the divine. Let's place our right hand back on our lap and the left hand like a chimney towards the sky. Let all these unwanted thoughts, overactive elements, let them all dissolve into the ether. Mother Kundalini, please cleanse me through and through. Purify my right side. Remove any unwanted thoughts. Help me to reach this thoughtless awareness, which is meditation. Shri Mataji has shown us also that we are the instrument. So let me be empty to be the instrument for the arts, for creativity, for everything, for speaking. Remove all the heat from my right side so I can be an instrument. I'm not doing anything at all. It's a very good affirmation for the right side. I don't do anything. Just let it work through me. Let's take our right hand 3 times Om. Raise our Kundalini. Put our hand on top of our head. Just hum the and feel the vibration of the sound, which is a central channel. And then raise the hand and see if the vibrations are cooler now. Let's place our hand also, lastly, on the heart. The right hand on the heart. Mother Kundalini, please open my heart. We can breathe into our hand. This is the element air in the heart. Mother Kundalini, please enlighten my heart. Make me a compassionate, loving human being. So we can rinse our feet. For now I can put the bowl aside, or you can go straight to the restroom and throw it. And let's keep our attention all the while in the Sahasrara, or above our Sahasrara, whilst we listen to Shri Mataji's talk.
With love, all kinds of creative action takes place. You see how Raulbai has love for me. And in this place, you all also got new ideas of creating a beautiful thing. And as love will increase, your creativity will develop. So the basis of all creativity of Saraswati is love. If there is no love, there is no creativity. It's even in the deeper sense. If you see, people who have created all the scientific things are also out of love for the masses, not for themselves. Nobody has produced anything for themselves. If they make something for themselves, it has to become for universal use, otherwise it has no meaning. Even if you say atom bomb and all these things are created from science, they are also very protective. If they had not created those, people would not have taken out their minds from war. Now nobody can think of having a big war. Of course they are having cold wars, but that also will gradually stop when they will be fed up of it. So all the activity on the right hand side of Saraswati basically has to end up in love, starts with love and ends up in love. Whichever does not end up in love coils up and finishes up. It just disappears. So you can see that even matter which is not used for love just finishes up. The basis has to be love. Otherwise all such matter that we create, which has angularity, which is not fitting into the mass media, which is not appealing to the masses. Of course, it takes time. We have seen that it takes time. But it has that tendency always to disappear in the thin air as soon as you find it does not appeal to the masses. Now this love that we talk of, this great love of God we talk of, we know that it for definite through vibrations. People do not have vibrations, but still they can feel the vibrations in a very unconscious way. All the great paintings of the world have vibrations. All the great creative works of the world have vibrations. Only those who have vibrations have been sustained by time. Otherwise all other things are destroyed. There must have been monuments and horrible statues and horrible things that have been created long time back, but were all destroyed by nature and they could not stand the impact of the Kala, that is the destructive power of time. So all that is sustaining, all that is nurturing, all that is ennobling comes from this sense of love which is within us, very much developed, but within others also who are not yet realized. Ultimately the whole world has to realize that one has to go to that ultimate love of God, otherwise it has no meaning. Light doesn't mean what you see with your gross eyes. Light means from within, the light of love. That one should understand. Light of love. And it's so soothing, it's so sweet, it's so beautiful, it's so enamoring, it's so abounding that unless and until you can feel that light within you, that light which is of pure love, of purity, pure relationships, pure understanding, if you can develop that kind of a light within yourself, then whole thing will be cleansed. Wash me and I shall be whiter than snow. This is what happens to you when you are completely cleansed. The purest form of nature is within us. The purest form of nature is within us. Our chakras are made out of that purest form of nature. I had written in childhood a poem, I remember. Very interesting poem it was. I don't know where it's lost, but we said that I want to be like a dust particle, which moves with the wind. It goes everywhere, can go sit on the head of a king, or can go and fall at the feet of someone. It can go and sit on a little flower, and it can go and sit everywhere. But I want to be a particle of dust that is fragrant, that is nourishing, that is enlightening. Like that. I had written a very beautiful poem when I must have been about 7 years of age, I remember, to be a dust particle. I remember that very clearly, long time back, that I should be a dust particle so that I'll permeate into people, which is a very big thing to become a dust particle of that kind. That whatever you touch, you see, that becomes an level. Whatever you just feel, that has fragrance. It's such a great thing to be like that. And that was my desire, and it has been achieved. If matter does not have aesthetics, then it is gross. Like that, everything. Now you will say, what is water? Water becomes the river Ganges. These are the subtler. So the matter gets into subtler things because it has to permeate. It has to permeate. So everything, whatever it is, and the best of all is the air. That air becomes the vibrations. So you can see how whatever has come out from this matter, from these 5 elements, becomes that subtle thing. Of course, the left side and right side both work it out, because the love has to work on this, and when love acts on matter, it becomes. And that is how one has to look at your own lives to make it a beautiful combination of love and matter. May God bless you.
So let's close our eyes just for a minute and stay in stillness, no thoughts. This next part, let's treat it like an experiment. Let's keep our hands open, our heart open, our mind open, and let's see if there are vibrations, which means love. Vibrations are love, in the elements that all these artists have used. The Sahaja Yogi photographers, Debbie and Serge, the composer Handel, who is working on our left side, the poet William Blake with the poem Golden String, and Jeremy Clancy, who has added some beautiful second, third, fourth verses to it. Let's use the arts to go thoughtless.
Eagle Poem by Joy Harjo. To pray, you open your whole self, to sky, to earth, to sun, to moon, to one whole voice that is you. And know there is more, that you can't see, can't hear, can't know, except in moments, steadily growing, and in languages that aren't always sound, but other circles of motion. Like eagle that Sunday morning over Salt River, circled in blue sky, in wind, swept our hearts clean with sacred wings. We see you, see ourselves, and know that we must take the utmost care and kindness in all things. Breathe in, knowing we are made of all this, and breathe, knowing we are truly blessed because we were born and die soon within a true circle of motion. Like eagle rounding out the morning inside us, we pray that it will be done in beauty, in beauty. The Beginning by Ian Bremner. Will the silence reach its peak? Will the hands begin to speak? Will the stillness draw us in? And when will this begin? Will the cool breeze lift the fog? Will we witness dog eat dog? Will we see through the eyes of light? And will this end the night? In the darkness, love combines with what each heart redefines. In a moment's deep desire at the Spirit's fire. Will you enter through the flame? Will you recognize your name when the silence calls you in? And when will this begin? soldier of love by Walter Lechner. I am a soldier of love, not the stupid kind of love, but intelligent love. The love that understands, the love that cares, the love that wants to help evolving. The Mother has given me weapons for my war of love. She has given me forgiveness, not the tolerant and accepting kind of forgiveness, but forgiveness which is sincere, forgiveness that does correct, forgiveness which frees the heart to love, frees the heart to speak. She has given me the gift of knowledge, not the knowledge gained from books or universities, but the knowledge from experiences, knowledge grown from observation, knowledge which gives benevolence, knowledge that opens up the mind. But most of all, she has given me a heart with courage. Courage to love without the need for recognition. Courage to forgive without the fear of tolerating wrong. Courage to understand the needs of others. Courage to speak the truth. At this time, I'm still training for my war of love. My weapons still need honing, my marksmanship improvement. My heart still has to grow. My mind still needs expanding. But the battle plan is laid. The purpose of war is clear. Humanity needs to be conquered with love, forgiveness, and with knowledge. Humanity needs to be conquered to gain freedom for the hearts and minds and souls.
I give you the end of a golden string, only wind it into a ball, and it will lead you in at heaven's gates, built in Jerusalem's wall. Jerusalem, Jerusalem, Jerusalem. I give you a handful of golden seeds. Only plant them inside your soul, and it will lead you in at heaven's gates, built in Jerusalem's wall, built in Jerusalem's wall. Jerusalem, Jerusalem, Jerusalem. Life is a gift, all wrapped up in paper, full of secrets hidden inside. But all will be revealed at your realization. This gift is a key to the sky. I give you the key to a golden cage. Only open it to set
I See a Mountain by Shri Mataji Nirmala Devi. I see a mountain from my window, standing like an ancient sage, desireless, full of love. So many trees and so many flowers, they plunder the mountain all the time. Its attention is not disturbed. And when the rain pours like many pictures of clouds bursting and it fills the mountain with greenery, the storm may come soaring, filling the lake with compassion, and the rivers flow running down towards the calling sea. The sun will create clouds, and wind carries on its feathery wings the rain onto the mountain. This is the eternal play. The mountain sees without desires. We can continue to sit in silence for a few moments and just observe the effect of this music, of these words on our subtle system. If any thought comes into your head, you can just say not this, not now. You can reflect back to how you felt when the music and the poetry touched your heart. Just try to hold on to that beautiful feeling. Try to see if your meditative experience, if your vibrations are any different from your day-to-day meditations after this session. before we open our eyes, let us take a moment to register this silence and how we're feeling within ourselves, so that we can come back to it the next time we sit down to meditate. With our complete attention on the top of our head, on our Sahasrara, we can raise our Kundalini and take a bandhan. And when we're ready, we can slowly open our eyes. We will go over a quick few announcements. We will have announcements on the screen in a second. Yeah. So we are excited to announce that we will be having an intermediate Sahaja Yoga seminar, and this will be in Richfield Park in New Jersey. So if you have been joining these sessions for a while now, and if you're ready to experience going deeper into meditation on a deeper level with other yogis and practitioners of meditation who will be there in person to guide you, to share their experiences, please do sign up. And we recommend that you pre-register soon because the spaces are limited. So please register as soon as you can. And the link for that will also be in the chat in the Zoom. So these will be sessions where you'll be learning more about Sahaja Yoga treatments, how do you go deeper into your thoughtless awareness, and the registration fees are also listed on the slide. This includes food, accommodation, and everything else that you will be needing for the weekend. So this will be the weekend of November 8th and 9th, and you can find more information about it if you need. You can ask any one of us. You can put a question in the chat. And you can also arrive on Friday and leave on Monday. So the next session that we will be having for day 83 is on the Guru Principle, and that will be on Sunday, October 12th. So please join, and we will be very happy to see you guys there again. So the course schedule looks as follows, and you must be already aware of it, but the session does end next Tuesday on October 14th. So definitely join the last few sessions, and these happen every Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday. But also on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, we have a collective foot soak and meditation session. So these happen at the same time at 8:45 p.m. New York time. It's a shorter session, and it's on the same Zoom link. So make sure you join those as well, and it's a very deep and beautiful experience with other practitioners of this meditation. Also for resources, as we mentioned earlier, you can always request a mentor or a new mentor or an additional mentor whenever you feel like it. So just fill out the form that is also posted in the Zoom chat. And then you can also, if you haven't already, join our community on the WhatsApp group. And this is like, we have daily messages. And if you have any questions, you can also ask them there. And all the live session links, recordings, handouts, other resources are available on this website. Feel free to scan the QR code for those as well. So before we conclude today, we will have a Q&A session. So if you have any questions from today's session that you'd like to ask, or from a previous session, or if you have something on your heart that you'd like to share, you can just write to the breakout room help, or you can write to chat Q&A, or you can write to the MC with your questions. So please come to us with your questions, and we would love to discuss more and hear from you. So we have all our presenters back on screen. So let us see what questions we get. We have one that is saying, what is the relationship between vibrations and creativity, and how does creativity enhance the meditative experience? So would any of you like to share?
Saraswati should go first.
Okay.
Yeah. You go first here. You already talked about
No,
it before.
you had all the time now to meditate and think.
How do vibrations help us with creativity, right?
Yes, or what is the relationship between vibrations and creativity?
So Shri Mataji explained in her talk that creativity is love. And these vibrations are also love. It's just an expression of this divine power. We are connected through our Kundalini. And so that we have a language, we can talk to the divine power. That's the language of the vibrations, which is also the source, is just the love of the divine power. And that we have been blessed, you can say, that we can understand the vibrations, or this cool breeze in the hands, or sometimes you feel a tingling, warm sensations, and then we do a small treatment like a foot soak and then clear it out until it becomes cool again. And creativity is in our second energy center, in this Swadhisthana, below the navel. Yeah, I mean, there's so much to talk about the creativity, but I feel that the root is really love, that vibrations is love, creativity is love, and how creatively actually we can use vibrations. So it's not something separate, it's like interconnected. For example, you go shopping for a carpet. Any example I'm taking, I had that experience a few years ago. We are going shopping for a carpet, and in the shop, I feel, okay, no. And just touching with my hand, suddenly I feel cool vibrations in my hand. I'm like, okay, this is the carpet. So it was all natural materials. It was a wool carpet. It did not have polyester in it, because plastic does not carry vibrations. We always look for natural materials. But why did it immediately show with the coolness? So it can be that the material is natural. It can be that the creativity of the artist, or the artist created the carpet with the pure intentions. So all these more subtle things play a role. Yeah.
Yeah. Sia, would you like to add anything to that?
Always. When Shri Mataji says, when Shri Mataji talks about in the speech also about matter having vibration, the elements, it's just so interesting, because we sometimes, when we say, I don't want to be materialistic and matter is all bad. The thing is, matter has a reason, matter has a purpose, and it has a purpose the moment we use it to create something beautiful, the moment we gift something to somebody. So matter has a purpose. But at the same time, Shri Mataji often says matter is dead. You're not doing anything. The matter itself is dead. But we human beings cannot create life. We cannot do that. We can only use this dead matter to create it into something. And then, interesting enough, it can or cannot have vibrations. There are items, also items of art, and some have, some don't have vibrations. And what I found really interesting in my journey in music is you have no control over this. You can't say, I'm going to make something with vibrations. No, it doesn't work. But the yogis, somebody who has vibrations, could maybe verify this has or hasn't got, like Saraswati is super sensitive on that. With the hands, I feel it more recently, actually, after all these years, recently, slightly different, is when a piece of music I'm working on, suddenly it really like an inner shower upwards comes, and you can feel the Kundalini dancing on your head. And that gives me an indication sometimes, you're on the right path. This is okay, this is pleasing, right? But if it has is life, right? This is maybe the life of the part of the matter, is then the vibrations that are put in, that's out of our control. We can just try to create something and hope that the vibrations pour in and maybe are transported around us, if that makes any sense. In order to, like Saraswati said, to spread vibrations, to create love, and somebody else can benefit then from that.
Yes,
To add,
oh no,
yeah,
continue.
Shri Mataji talked about the light element, and like music has the air element in it, especially the flute, and like when you play violin, it has the frequency carries the vibrations on. Also, that's how it reaches our heart.
Frequency, right?
If the players say if you create music, but in your mind you're so busy thinking about something, and there's so much mental activity, it will show in the music. The music will not be peaceful. But if, say, I play flute and I don't think, I'm thoughtless, then it carries into the music. You feel it creates a kind of weight. If you say, if a musician like plays thoughtlessly, it creates kind of weight that it is as a body of itself. It's hard to explain, but
There's good you mentioned the light element.
vibration.
The light element with photography, for example, we've seen that it's interesting. We've all been at the same place very often, also with Shri Mataji present, and different Sahaja made pictures, but only with certain people, those pictures suddenly, because maybe they were good channels, they were good, maybe clear enough, some images came out that were pretty magnificent, and they had amazing vibrations, sometimes even things that we can't see with the naked eye. And so that was in the nature photography of our two Sahaja, Serge and Debbie, really nicely visible is this, what they see. Sometimes what they see is not what you see, you know. And that's, I find that always really fascinating if somebody has the eye or this openness for things like photography.
Yeah, I want to revisit how you both mentioned, like, love and creativity, right? They go hand in hand, and Shri Mataji also talked about it, because that leads us to another question is, how do you understand the relationship between creativity and love? And I think we were already talking about it a little bit, but just to add a little bit, I think, creativity is in different aspects of life. And when you have inventions that come out of a place of creativity, you want to make life maybe easier for someone else. So you're like, okay, how can I change things? So that's like the root of inventions, you can say. And it comes from a place of, how can I make someone else's life better? Even if you're making an art piece or you're drawing something, maybe you're doing it to make someone else happy, or like, if they look at my art, they will have a smile for the rest of the day. Or maybe even for yourself, it can be like, I'm painting, so I'm happy. It can be an expression of self-love as well. So Shri Mataji, I know, always talks about how, even if you're not maybe planning to publish a story, write a story, just write how you're feeling, right? Because that expression impacts your spirit. It resonates with your spirit. You might not see it necessarily, but it will impact how you meditate. Like, in music, you can see a direct relation. You hear music and you meditate, it leads to a deeper experience than without music, perhaps. But even when you start expressing that creativity in different forms, it can be art, it can be cooking, it can be anything. It doesn't have to be art and music related. But once you start doing that, you actually do feel that your meditations get impacted. And maybe you can try it at home and see how you feel about it. So that's always a nice little experiment to try. So that's great.
Yeah, creativity. Sorry. Yeah. Creativity for me is also how we make affirmations, for example. When we meditate, Sahaja Yoga is fluid. We are giving suggestions also on the 21 days that what to say, so that we learn the qualities of every chakra, of every channel, but then how we are using it is up to our own creativity. So that's the self-expression. And sometimes we want to address some difficult topic. Any example I'm giving, then you can ask in your heart, how can I say this creatively so that it reaches the person the right way? Or so we can use it through our emotions, through our expression. It's not only art, it is also from within what we bring out to others, how we creatively use our hands. Maybe somebody then goes into dance, or we use the hands for creating music. And then, yeah, that came into my attention to share that be creative, try out new ways to, reach your heart. And some days are better, some days are not so good. So on the days which are not so good, okay, what will make me feel happy now? How can I creatively say an affirmation which makes me feel happy? So try it out, yeah.
that because the often what holds us back is the expectation of somebody else, and to actually have the faith in your own guru tattva, they say, in your own, I am my own guru, I might do it differently. Even with the affirmations, because it comes from you, it comes from your heart, it has better value, has probably way better vibrations than if you just copy something from somebody. And it goes the same for music, which in Western classical music was a challenge, because by its nature you have to copy what somebody wrote, whereas in Indian music you're given the tools. Here's the Lego pieces, build it. Once you know how to build it, there you go. And I think it took me a long time to realize that it pays off. It's much better to trust the little thing I know, maybe the little compared to some maestro, this is nothing, but better you do that with love, and it has more vibrations than attempting to, reinvent the wheel or something.
Maestros also started small.
Yes.
I think we're lifelong maestros anyway, never the masters, really.
Always learning, always learning.
Learning, yeah, exactly.
Talking about vibrations and the practice of Sahaja Yoga, we have another question. How has your creativity changed or evolved through the practice of Sahaja Yoga?
Yeah, I'll take that first. It's massively. I mean, obviously, I was fairly young, and I came out of university when I came to Sahaja Yoga at 21. And again, that was a time where you're being told what to do, you're being told how it goes. And it took me forever, a lot of years, to really find my own path. But I must say, it wouldn't have worked with the collaboration and the love and the support of all the Sahaja Yogis. They've been this massive family of love and support. It was a platform and a playground to bring up things that were so imperfect sometimes, and just with the sheer love and support, it grew and grew, and certain things really improved over time. And when I look back at what we started with was, I mean, I was like, oh my goodness. But that was this feeling of family that you're allowed to try, and you just you can experiment. And that was, I'm forever grateful for that. Really, really, truly grateful for that. And must say, I did have the opportunity to play in front of Shri Mataji. And I know for a fact that a lot of artists had tremendous experiences. I did, but there was one particular experience, which I just very briefly would like to share, was when I played an Indian piece on the violin. And that was one of the few times I really actually sat down and practiced properly and worked it all out. And I played with a tabla player. And whilst I was playing, I'm not lying, my fingers were flying, and I didn't know they never went that fast. And like, what is going on? What is this? And it was some of this. And when I ended, it was like, this was way faster and way better than I'm actually physically able to do it. And that was one of many, many experiences, but it was still the high. I still can't find this recording, which makes me really upset. Aww. But yeah, it's somewhere there in the universe.
I'd love to hear that.
It was flying and flying. And it wasn't just me. A lot of Indian musicians who've been invited sometimes, who had no idea about Sahaja Yoga. And they came off the stage really with this stunned faces, like, what just happened? How come my fingers were doing things they've never done before? And that's the experience part, is how vibrations work in the moment.
Yeah, I love what you mentioned here, the love and support. I mean, that's the root of Sahaja Yoga, is the love, I think. And through creatively, we help each other to grow. Sometimes like just friends talking to each other and opening up to each other very quickly, and sharing our things we don't want to share, but then you need some outlet somewhere. And that's why we have the mentorship program. And it's just love. We just want that you also feel the same love we have received from each other, and that's how we pass it on. That's what Sahaja Yoga is, how one candle gives the light to the next candle. And the root is the innocence also. The root is the creativity and the love, yeah.
And I've also seen that once you start, practicing Sahaja Yoga meditation, you also start creating work or music or art or whatever you're doing. It just aligns with your spirit. So, there are different kinds of music, but you can obviously tell that there are certain types of music that will maybe distract you from your meditation versus some that will ease you in and are more soothing. So I feel like with Sahaja Yoga, you can actually touch another person's spirit or heart And it's like again, like the whole concept of love comes in, but yeah, the vibrations play into your work and your creativity once you're connected to your spirit. So that's very beautiful to see as well. So yeah, very nice. And Sia, actually, you mentioned in the beginning of this session that you can arrange your house a certain way to improve vibrations, or no, you can in terms of how to use that creativity to enhance your meditative space or things like that. Would you like to expound on how we could do that?
Yeah, a little bit. There's an interesting connection also to the Nabi. The Nabi being the place of sustenance, of peace, of household, of money. Everything is around the Nabi. It's to do with our house. And if my place is cluttered, and I'm getting used to just living in this, thrown away clothing or whatever, cluttered places, it has actually an effect on our Nabi. And also if I try to meditate in a place like that, for example, the vibrations may not be, that good. And looking after yourself, your body is your temple, things like that, the vibrations will improve. Your day will improve if you just a little bit look after yourself and take these things in consideration. But also, like I said, paintings, pick your paintings. You can, with vibrate, just like Saraswati said, you can pick your carpets, your paintings with vibrations. Does this make me happy? If I look at it, does it have vibrations? Music, what sort of music do I pick? Sometimes you may want to pick certain pieces of music that are a little upbeat and have a rhythm. Absolutely. Depending, or maybe just something super, super calming. But every music has different vibrations, and we can check that. And then over time, I have noticed that we Siddha yogis pick things that we have vibrations, because we just cannot over time bear sometimes the sort of thing we used to listen to anymore, because it doesn't align with our vibratory state.
Doesn't resonate.
Yeah, creatively, especially in our home, when we just start setting up an altar, what I did in the beginning, going in every corner, for example, and find out, okay, do I feel happy in this corner? In some corners, then I see, oh, there's this. No, let me take this out. I don't need that anymore. And if we clean the home, right, you put the things in the garbage, but then the garbage bag is still in the home. It's like how we still keep things inside. So you want to put it really outside your home in the garbage bag, then it is gone. That's how creatively we want to really cleanse our home of things we don't need anymore. And the clutters here mentioned.
And there was this yogi in England. He every time he had these young people stay with him, and when they were really completely messed up, and the first thing he did is go clean your room. When they were on the left side or depressed or whatever, he sent them to clean their room, and very often it sorted itself out. Yeah, so sweet.
Yeah, so cleaning up is maybe external, right? We clean up inside also. So sometimes external we clean up, but then it's all creativity. That, okay, how can I creatively now clean this so I feel joy in this area of my home again? Or, oh, it's actually beautiful. And if you feel, some people, they feel, oh, I cannot do any art, right? Is it either a mental blockage or we haven't tried? Just give it a try. Anything, making with your hands is, the hands are also connected to our Vishuddhi chakra, which is the sweetness and the speech. So just want to encourage you, make something with your hands. Find something small. Even you just take a white paper, you write down any thoughts you have. And for me, creativity is also pure introspection. Just how can I improve myself and feel more love inside. Yeah.
Beautiful. Well, I'm certainly feeling inspired to go write something after the session, so I hope the rest of you are as well. But yeah, it was really, really nice talking to you guys. And thank you to everyone else who joined. And we would be very happy to see you again in the session on Sunday. So thank you for joining. And I hope you have a great rest of your day, evening, wherever you are. Thank you.
Bye, everyone. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Mm-hmm.